Hi everyone, this is a day trade recap. Today is July 13th. I only worked with one stock today. It was PETZ. This is a stock that I had posted a trade plan for. My members in my trade plan room posted this one. It was a little before 8. It was about 7:53 my time this morning. It had made this move. It was in the process of making this move. It had hit that and I said, okay, let it retest that, but let it pull back to major support first because this was a target, right? And so we were just kind of watching for the pullback. And I drew this little extra line in here. This was not a target, but I was just here through these tops over here a couple of times that it tagged. And I thought, well, previous resistance could become new support. So I'll look for it to bounce up off of that and give me a doji. And here was my little doji. And so I get in on the next good green candle and take it to that retest, right? So getting in on my first trade was $2.50 to $2.72. And I just got out. And you can see how many times it kept hitting that level. I mean, it spent a lot of time testing that level. It couldn't get back up. So it came back down to the same general area from that level that I had drawn, right? It a little bit higher from it. So I thought, well, it's going to probably push up through the VWAP and I'll just look for an entry that I trust above this level. And I thought, well, I'm going to actually wait for it to get above VWAP. And that's what I did right here. It took a little while for that to happen. I mean, my first trade finished here at 8:25 and my entry wasn't until 10:46 or so this morning. But I did get in here at, let's see, my price was $2.60. And I knew it was going to be rough because let me zoom out and show you what we were dealing with. It had been below VWAP, right? That's this purple line, this purple average line. It had been below VWAP. And so whenever that happens, it has to come back down and prove it. You know, it has to hit it and prove it as support. If it doesn't, then it's going to sell down. But it has to hold it and it hits it and hold it. And it did that. And then it came back down again to it here, which made me a little nervous. But I thought, well, let it hold the 50. That's this blue dashed. Let it hold the 50 EMA and we'll just stay with it. That'll be my stop loss. If it breaks below, then I'll just get out. But it didn't. It held. And so I thought, well, I'll monitor candle structure through these targets that it had previously hit because it had already tested this line twice, right? Tested it once, two, actually three times. So I thought, well, when it gets to it this time, it's either going to reject really hard or push really hard through it. So that's why I was just watching through this line rather than getting out at that line, watching. And look at, we had a big strong candle right there. And so I knew, hey, we're going to go to this next level. So I got out on this one at 290. So that was a 30-cent per share gain on that one. So the first one was 22 cents and this one was 30 cents per share. And then, I kept watching it because I like to try to get at least 3 good trades in a day. This was the only one, and it's a Chinese stock, and I really don't like Chinese stocks, but nothing was following through today. I kept posting stocks for the members in the trade plan room, and nothing was. I said, if they set up, we'll take it. But they just never set up. So there's no trades on those. But this one kept setting up. So here we go, back down to this time it hit the 200 and the VWAP. So you just kind of look for it to hold support. And it was slow moving right here. Okay? It was really slow moving. But we had some buy signals. And I thought, well, it's above VWAP. We'll see what it does. I'll monitor through this line, this white target line, which it needs to prove that as support. And it did. It pushed through it hard. So I thought, okay, this level, it has already hit that one previously, so we'll see how strong it is through that one. And it was strong through that level. I just continued to watch through each of these levels. It hit this one, but I stayed with it. It was kind of a pullback candle there. Then here was the next target, and that's where we got out at $3.42. So getting in at $2.70 pretty much was the average on that one, and 342. So that's a great trade right there. It took a while. It took like an hour for that to happen, but it worked out really well. So and now let me just show you what I think is going to happen now. Right here, you've got a long range to the next target. Go out to a higher time frame where you can kind of see this is where we are. My next actual target is $4.50. That's this line here, right here. And you can see why I drew it there, because that's just a lot of tops and bottoms and stuff. So that's the next one, and I don't think it's going to push through that too soon. It's going to have to come down because if you look at it, it needs to come down to support, and that's what it's doing right now. It's going to have to find some support, either make this as support or make it come down to support. And it's pretty far from the 50, so I'm guessing it'll probably pull back to some level, and we'll see what it does. But I'm out, and that's how that worked. Now let me talk about this S&P SPY, because everybody's thinking, are we at a bottom yet? Have we hit the bottom yet? What's going to happen in the coming weeks, even months? I mean, we all know that the news is really bad. They came out with the CPI report today, inflation, consumer price index, and it wasn't good. They're trying to make it sound good. In my opinion, they're not being honest about it because they're leaving out food. They're calculating everything else except food. And what is our biggest expense every month? It's food. So they're not taking that into consideration, and food has really gone up since the last report. So we're not out of the woods yet. Here's the daily chart on the S&P. And if you zoom out, I have some lines on here that I've kind of been monitoring over the course of years, actually. This one I just drew a while back because it's a level of resistance. So we would ideally like to see support on this line right here. And it already tagged it once back here. So it tagged it once back here, and now look, everything's pointing down. It's just looking like it's down, but you can't really get enough data looking at the daily chart on something like this. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart, and you can see this line is perfectly lined up with the 200 EMA. That's this yellow dashed. Currently, it's right at that. And you can also see that this 200 is flattening out, which isn't really always a very good sign. This is curling down. This 50 is curling down. Now we're on the weekly chart, okay? This line right here is still kind of valid to a point. But if you look, we're doing bear flags as this thing is going down. So what's happening is the shorts are pulling it back to resistance levels and then taking it down further. They're just taking profits to these lines, pulling it back to these lines and bringing it down further. So I anticipate that it could possibly break through this line. This is a critical line. If it finds support here, then off to the races we go. It's a moving average, so it's hard to know where it will be when it tags it, but it's going to look for possibly this blue 50 EMA. But it's hard to say right now. But if you go to the monthly chart, let me go to the monthly chart. This is a 20-year 1 month. And here's that line, right? And it looks like it's right at it here. And look at our 50 EMA. It's flattening out. So, I mean, if it breaks through here, then this is the next level. This is a major level. And this is what I kind of expect it to do, is to come down to this one, which is somewhere around the 326 or 7 range, 326 or 27, somewhere in there. It's hard to see it zoomed in like this, but you look at this indicator, it's not looking too favorable for a turnaround or a bounce, but we'll see what happens right here. But I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up of, just look at some higher time frames on the SPY, because it's really the overall indicator of all the market, because it has the most products in it. So anyway, that's how I feel about this. I don't feel we're at a bottom yet. It needs to prove a bottom, and I have not seen it proving a bottom yet. What I see are bear flags. And, here's a bear flag. We're working on this bear flag here. Possibly we'll get another bear flag before it finds a bottom. And when it's at a bottom, it just kind of fishes around for a little while. But what you'll look for a reversal is a higher low. And we're just not seeing any higher lows. So that's all I wanted to say about this SPY. Let me go back to PETZ, which was our fun little Chinese stock. Look at what it's doing. It's back at this line now. Probably will come down to the 50. Who knows? We'll just see. I'm not going to try to guess. I think it made its run and everybody's happy. And now the shorts are going to take it. But if you need any help finding levels, finding a stock to trade that's got what it takes to give you a few trades through the day. I mean, we made over $1 a share through these 3 trades combined. So that's not a bad day for a very bad day on the market. Today, the market is just red. It's not big red, but it's just red. So that's how it looks. But if you need any help, let me know, and we will talk soon.